Hi everybody, welcome to Rodrigue Molyneaux's August 2020 club wine release, and this is the 2017 Livermore Valley Sangiovese. So a little bit about this wine. This came from the Rubino Vineyard here in Livermore, California, you know, this is one of our Calatal series wines, this wine has done very well in competition this year, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first off, I know you guys really want to get to tasting it, so let's get into the bouquet. So if you have something sort of like this, just some kind of wine glass cover, this is actually called a Vino Chapeau, if you want to find it online. These are great for really concentrating all the bouquet inside the glass as you're swirling it. So yeah, pick up your glass. You can even try putting your hand over it, swirl it a few times, really start releasing those aromas. And then let's really stick our nose into it and take a nice big inhale. And when you smell wine, you want to get that initial first really big inhale, really get your nose deep in the glass, and then you can take a deep breath out. You can have your mouth open a little bit. That might help a little bit with getting some of those retronasal aromas that happen in the back of your throat, going back up into your nasal cavities. And if you're just not getting the same powerful aromas that you were getting before, you can put your cover back on, swirl it again. You can even sniff something else, like sniff the back of your hand to clear your nose. You can sniff another wine. A lot of people will sniff coffee beans. All of that stuff will sort of reset your nose to take another hit of the bouquet. So I'm gonna go ahead and sniff my hand. Okay. Okay, yeah, we have reset the bouquet intensity there. So the first thing that really pops out to me is that this has a nice sort of a citrus peel aroma on top of the red fruit. And to me, I'm getting almost like a blood orange from it. And I don't know if you're familiar with, in Italy, they like to incorporate a lot of bitter flavors in their cuisine. So they have things like Campari, which is sort of a cocktail mixer, and they also have almost like a soda, but it's not a sweet soda. It's more of a bitter soda, and it's called Chinotto. It's really hard to find around here, but if you've been to Italy, you might know what I'm talking about. It's just that really kind of almost like a dried blood orange peel flavor and aroma, and I'm really just getting that a lot on this wine. There's a lot of that kind of high-toned and zingy red fruit aromas, so you know that this wine is probably going to be more of like a lighter, more sort of not quite as lush and overdone, overripe fruit, but more of like a little bit more tangy, maybe a little bit more underripe fruit on the tongue. When you're smelling it, sometimes you just get that premonition, So I'm getting some cranberry, some as far as the wood treatment, the oak treatment on here, what I'm really getting is more of a cedar aspect to it. And maybe some fresh thyme, a little bit of fresh herbs. So let's get into the palate, what's going on with the palate of this wine. So when you taste it, make sure you're sort of moving some air over it as you're tasting it. So slurping, you know, is generally accepted when you're tasting wine, or maybe sipping hot soup. But here we go. We're gonna just kind of roll it around on our palate a little bit. I'm sure you're getting some funny sounds off my microphone now. So I'm getting a lot of, again, that sort of orange citrus peel, just a hint of bitterness from it. And I think that that actually makes it quite a nice and refreshing wine. It's not a heavy wine. This is more of a medium bodied. It's got like kind of a gentle weight on my tongue. And I'm not really getting a lot of tannin on this wine. It's really in the back of my tongue where I'm getting the tannin. So not a lot of tannin from the oak treatment. Yeah. If any kind of fruit I'm getting is more of like a tart red cherry, maybe like just a hint, just the slightest hint of dried lavender. And on the finish, like maybe just the tiniest bit of like a tar. So it's got a little bit of that dark flavor on the finish, but mostly it's got nice, bright, fresh red fruits and dried citrus. And then, again, going back to the mouthfeel, it's just got like a bit of a peppery finish, but it's nice and balanced, and it's not going to linger too much on your palate. So this wine, just to tell you a little bit about the winemaking on this, this is more of an early to mid-season ripener. This is usually one of the first reds that we get in here at Rodrigue. This usually comes in sometime in September to early October. That year it was picked October 7th, 2017, and we got 1.5 tons off of this vineyard. And this vineyard is sort of near, on the west side of town, right on the edge, sort of near Ruby Hill. If you know where Ruby Hill or Rubino Winery is, that's about where it came from. This was fermented on actually a Barolo yeast, a yeast that was isolated from the Piemonte region in Italy, and is really great for fermenting the Piemonte reds, so Sangioveses, Nebbiolos, Barberas, things like that. It was aged on about 20% new American oak, and then it was sterile filtered and bottled on August 7th, 2019, and we got 80 cases of it. And the blend on this is 94% Sangiovese, 5% of an actually a little bit newer Barbera, so 2018 vintage Barbera, and 1% Petit Verdot. So just to get into the food pairing for you guys a little bit before we sign off, this is a lighter bodied wine, and it's a little bit more acidic, so therefore it's going to really love some of the bright acidic food flavors like tomatoes, any kind of tangy or earthy sweet flavors that you can get from foods. So it's a great with pizza or pasta, anything with tomato sauce base, and especially if it also has some great fat from mozzarella cheese or any kind of fatty meats. It's going to be great with lamb chops with maybe like a vinaigrette or a tangy type sauce, because it's just going to really love both those the fats, the sort of like mouth coating fats, and also like the tangy acidic foods too. And even a French onion soup with thyme would really pick up the earthy flavors in this wine and sort of the herbal flavors as well. So thanks for watching this video, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this 2017 Sangiovese. And by the way, this Sangiovese has been doing very well in competition this year. So before we go, let me mention that it got a gold. Got a gold medal at Livermore Uncorked, but it also got best in class at the same competition as well for Spanish and Italian varietals. It also did very well in the international women's competition this year. It got a double gold, best of class, and 96 points at that competition. So unfortunately, because of COVID, we couldn't enter more competitions, but I'm sure it would have done well in those too. So please don't hesitate to pick up your bottle, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.